Hello! It has been a while. So last time we had actually done a video before you guys started working on your project. You had watched a video by Hammer Grammar talking about infinitive phrases. So you guys had used the little word zu, which means to, with an infinitive. I'm just going to give you guys an example to refresh your memories. Ich habe vergessen. Die Tür zu schließen. Okay, so when you had done this, you were looking at the zu schließen, that infinitive phrase at the very end of that sentence. Now, all of them always are stuck to the end. You're always going to have zu and an infinitive. In this case, what you're saying is, I forgot to close the door. Another thing Catherine had mentioned to you in that video was this comma. And the comma is used in infinitive phrases to separate ideas within one sentence. So I forgot is one thing, and then if somebody were to ask you, what did you forget? To close the door. So one idea is that you forgot something, another idea is what that infinitive phrase encompasses, to close the door. Now, of course, in English, we have to close preceding that object. In German, it is just right at the end of that sentence. Now, in German, we have a bunch of verbs that are really, really commonly used with infinitive phrases. One of them is the one that I just used here. So we have vergessen, but there are other ones. A lot of them have ver in the front. One is versuchen. It has nothing to do with searching for. It is actually to attempt or to try. That's versuchen. Please repeat that. Versuchen. Then we've got versprechen. Versprechen actually has multiple meanings, but the one that you guys need to know for now is to promise. So to promise is versprechen. Another one is one you guys did just review, and that is anfangen, to begin. Vorhaben, to have planned. And we also use it with Zeit haben, which is not one verb, but it's a noun-verb combination, so it functions a lot like our separable prefix verbs. To have time. Okay, please write those down. Make sure that you start studying them. They are in your vocab as well. Okay, I'm going to give you guys another example, and this time I'm going to do one with the Zeit haben. I'm going to say, ich habe keine Zeit, meine Hausaufgaben zu machen. So this is a likely excuse. I hear this all the time. Ich habe keine Zeit, meine Hausaufgaben zu machen. Whoops, going the wrong direction. I meant to go this way. So, I don't have time. That's that first part. I don't have time. And the second part is starting with this in English. To do my homework. Okay, I don't have time to do my homework. And again, we're separating those two things because you could say, what do you not have time for? I don't have time to do my homework. So the zu machen is at the very end. The phrase that introduces the sentence is going to come first, and it's in just regular word order. You have your verb in second place. Up here, the same thing is true. Now, whenever you guys, excuse me, whenever you guys went through and had watched the video, I had asked you to do workbook page 258, but you were just doing the odds. Now, of course, in the video with Catherine, she did not tell you guys how to actually combine sentences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys two sentences and show you how you combine them. What you're going to do is something like, ich mache meine Hausaufgaben. Okay, so ich mache meine Hausaufgaben. And then you have another sentence, and I'm going to use vergessen, which was what again? Vergessen was to forget. Ich habe es vergessen. So I'm doing my homework, and I forgot, or I forgot it. We're using past tense here. You have habe and vergessen. There's no GE because vergessen starts with an inseparable prefix. So in this case, when you're combining these, if you are saying, I'm doing my homework, or I do my homework, and I have forgotten, you would probably start with this sentence. So you're going to use logic there a little bit. In the activity on this page, they're always in reverse order. So you're always going to start with that second sentence first. What you're then going to do, so you're going to take the sentence and move it up to the front. You're just going to restate it. Ich habe, drop this, vergessen. Okay. Es is the part that you're stating in this sentence. And it's not just meine Hausaufgaben, my homework. It is this whole thing. It's to do your homework is what you forgot. So we're dropping that part. You're going to put a comma. Ich habe vergessen. Then you're going to do meine Hausaufgaben. And you have mache. So that is your infinitive phrase word. So you're going to add zu and then go zu machen. So that you're ending with that as the infinitive. The thing that you're making an infinitive is always the verb in second place. So from that sentence that becomes the infinitive phrase, it's going to be that verb in second place, so the conjugated verb. Also, if you noticed, I did drop the ich. The reason I dropped the ich is because it is now one sentence, and I only need the ich once up here. So you're not going to repeat the ich. Ich habe vergessen, meine Hausaufgaben zu machen has to have only this ich. I know that with other sentences we sometimes practiced, you could restate that subject, but in this case you can't, because if you look at the second part of this sentence, you no longer have a conjugated verb. The only conjugated verb is haben right here. This is the infinitive. So conjugated verb, there's only one, so there can only be one subject. So making those infinitives is super easy. Actually placing the infinitive when combining two sentences is also relatively easy. The hard part really is figuring out what elements get dropped and what phrase is the phrase that leads. And for that, you really need to make sure that you're understanding the words. Another thing that you need to be aware of, and she did mention this in the video, is that when you have separable prefix verbs, you're going to act much like you did when you did perfect tense. Whoops, perfect tense. And you're going to have it in between. What I mean with that is, if I have something like anziehen, to put on clothes, this is where I would split it. In the perfect tense, this became angezogen. All is one word. Whenever you're doing a zu infinitive, you're of course using the infinitive with a zu, so you're not going to change it to zogen, but you're going to stick the zu in the middle. So it's anzuziehen. Okay? So if I have something like mitkommen, what does that look like as an infinitive? Or as an infinitive with zu? Yep, it is mitzukommen. One more. Vorgehen. vorgehen comes vorzugehen. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Make sure that these all become one word. I kind of wrote them very far apart to be very clear here, but it is all one word each time. Okay, to practice, rather than practicing something really new, I want you guys to continue combining sentences. So on page 285, you guys only did the odds before. I want you guys to go through and complete the evens and see if you did any better. And the next time, we are going to talk about two things. One, we're going to talk about modals, and then we're also going to add some additional words and do umzu. So be ready.